Hello doctors. Oxygen therapy is a very important topic. I think I have given you the importance of oxygen therapy well and detailed in the discussion we had in artificial respiration and the introduction to this competency. But this topic as such is hugely important. It's got lots and lots of concepts. You need to have a clear idea of the indication where oxygen is used as a treatment and the side effects of using oxygen as a treatment. They are both completely different dimensions of this one topic. So why certain conditions demand oxygen and what happens if we use oxygen as a treatment? Only when you have this clarity, you will not use oxygen unnecessarily for conditions which actually have no benefit with oxygen. Alright, so it's a double-edged weapon. Oxygen can make life at times, oxygen can break life at times. So there must be a very judicial use of oxygen, people. So when it comes to the oxygen administration as a treatment, not as a supplementary tool, alright, have this clarity. If you consider this example, I'll give you this example of Michael Jackson. He uses something called as oxygen tent. Before every show, before every performance he does on stage, he goes to that oxygen tent and he sits in that oxygen tent for 10-15 minutes. He inhales pure oxygen and then he comes to the performance, thinking that this 100% pure oxygen inhalation has given him good amount of energy to perform. That's a very unscientific method because it practically has got no benefit. So that's one side. You might have gone for malls, shopping complexes where this concept of oxygen parlor has evolved these days. So you will charge some amount where you'll be made to sit in a room which is filled with pure oxygen and everything. Do you think that's going to help you in any way, guys? That's going to, do a change in your metabolism or something in a beneficial way? Absolutely not. So this idea and the knowledge of oxygen administration is so important so that you will have the clarity to use oxygen very judiciously. You will not use oxygen unnecessarily. You have to use oxygen when it will be mandatorily needed. Alright. So this topic is so important even beyond your contemplation, guys. So try to pay very best attention when it comes to learning the way oxygen is used as a treatment. Let's begin our discussion with one word called hypoxemia, because 90% of patients who require oxygen as a treatment falls under this category called hypoxemia. What is hypoxemia? Is this the same as hypoxia? No. People, I'll start with hypoxia so that you understand hypoxemia even in a better way. Hypoxia is a condition which is manifested with tissue oxygenation being compromised. Whatever the condition it may be, if there is going to be a compromise in tissue oxygenation, we call this condition as hypoxia. Every time a tissue do not get enough oxygen for its metabolism, it is hypoxia. So we think and we'll try to learn in the perspective of a tissue. How does a tissue receives oxygen? Tissue receives oxygen in two ways. 97% of tissue oxygenation is coming from a form of oxygen called as oxyhemoglobin, and 3% of tissue oxygen happens from dissolved form of oxygen. Dissolved form of oxygen, guys. We would have studied this kind of detailedly in gas transport module and video, but still for the sake of better understanding when it comes to oxygen therapy, I wish that you learn this once again and you have your memory of oxygen transport, gas transport very vividly, so that attention and memory is going to help you in understanding oxygen therapy much better. Alright, So, when it comes to tissue delivery of oxygen, we could able to see two forms of oxygen delivery. One is oxyhemoglobin and dissolved form of oxygen. So, in blood itself, people, in blood itself, if you consider, oxygen is transported in two ways. So, 97% of oxygen is transported in blood as oxyhemoglobin, where you can see oxygen combining with hemoglobin. And the other 3% is seen in dissolved form, which means oxygen which is practically dissolved in plasma. Dissolved in plasma, guys. So that's 100% of oxygen transport in blood. Wherever the deficiency it may be a deficiency of oxyhemoglobin, alright, it may be a deficiency of oxyhemoglobin, or it may be a deficiency of dissolved form of oxygen. Whatever it is, the tissue is going to suffer from hypoxia. Now, hypoxia can be manifested because of two reasons. I just told you, right? There can be a drop in oxyhemoglobin, or there can be a drop in dissolved form of hemoglobin, dissolved form of oxygen, or oxygen delivery to a tissue is compromised because of decreased blood supply. That's called as, stagnant hypoxia. All these kinds of problems might lead to decreased oxygen supply to a tissue, leading to hypoxia.